Ooh, schwitzing. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we search for news from our city, our state, and our country. We take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions. We combine all this information, and we put it together to benefit from it, to become more connected with each other, with our city, with our community, with our way of life here in Puerto Vallarta as a bunch of English-speaking locals. Today is the first day of August, and I saw an August comment early this morning. Yes, David says, good afternoon, everyone. Crazy that it is already August. Well, before you know it, it'll be Thanksgiving, and then it'll be Day of the Dead and all these things that are happening. And before you know it, we will forget that we have a lot to complain about with all those non-air conditioned city buses. Or maybe we won't forget. Anyhow, today is August 1st. I'm feeling a little cynical about the news, so please indulge me if there's a bit of snark commenting going on as I deliver the news this morning. Okay, so I see that Ben thinks he's a recycled newbie. I like that. I never heard of a recycled newbie because he is subscribed. Yes, Ben just subscribed. Thank you very much for that. And Christoph is finally in Switzerland. I hope you enjoyed the crossing to the other side of the planet. I hope you enjoyed all those wonderful excursions that you and your partner enjoyed through Mexico before you guys left. And I hope every time you drink a glass of wine, you will remember the wonderful memories that you left behind here in Puerto Vallarta with your amazing corner bar. Miss you lots, and hopefully you'll come back at some point. As always, if you are a new person watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new. We'll give you a nice little welcome. If you are watching later on in the day through YouTube, please know that we appreciate your likes, your thumbs up, your subscriptions. We appreciate your company as well. Let us get started. Oh, and also, if you have something really important to share, please let us know by adding a capital letter Q to your comments, and I'll be happy to look for those as we go on into the chat section later on. Let's see. Well, let's just go into the news, which are missing in action. Hold on just a second. There we go. As expected, the city has reacted to the sanitary warning label applied to the local Oasis Beach by the federal agency COFEPRIS. Local authorities stated that indeed the beach is ever so slightly above the norm with 210.41 caca molecules, or 10.41 molecules too many. The city indicated that this is a special case because the beach is right next to the Pitillal River, as if trying to justify the situation. Of course, I think it's awesome that at this beach, not only can you be exposed to caca molecules, but you get the bonus exposure to caca molecules coming from the mountains down the river or elsewhere in the state of Jalisco. I mean, isn't that wonderful? Yeah. And of course, as I predicted, this is going to be a crazy week for for the mayor and SEAPAL, because residents from neighborhoods affected by water shortages and by unfulfilled promises are now looking at legal options. At the very least, we can expect another demonstration in the near future, but things might get uglier as they are also considering submitting an official complaint at the state's Human Rights Commission, along with another one as the state of Jalisco's Attorney's Office Against Corruption. As I said earlier, things will get ugly for Mayor Michel and SEAPAL this week. And of course, we are always surrounded by broken promises here in Puerto Vallarta. And I'm sure it's not a Puerto Vallarta thing. In fact, I don't think it's a Mexico thing. I don't think it's a local thing. I think it's an everywhere thing. If we were to keep track of all the promises that politicians make and agencies make, well, I don't know what life would be like. But I am going to show you a broken promise that I have been holding on to my collection. And this broken promise dates back to 2018, and I translate. With the presence of state and municipal authorities, the official presentation of Unibus, PuRR, took place on January 27, 2018. Unibus, PuRR, is the company that took charge of the public transportation routes in Puerto Vallarta. The event was attended by the group of investors and permit holders who make up Unibus, PuRR, a company comprising 276 partners. It was said that they were investing nearly 1 billion pesos to make one of the most important desires and needs of the Puerto Vallarta people a reality: a new, high-quality, comfortable, and air-conditioned transportation system. And that was back in 2018. How's that for a broken promise? I tell you. Moving right along, there is a new tropical storm out there, and its name is Dora. According to the National Weather Service, it is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane by tomorrow. By tomorrow! And although it is presently moving away from the coast, it will still drop a considerable amount of rain over western Mexico, or so they say. And if you ask me what's up with a dude riding the bicycle with 2 kids, all 3 of them without helmets, well, that's the photograph that Informador chose to feature with this news item. So I don't know what's up with that. Moving right along, I forgot to delete some of the notes for yesterday, but this one is new. Seemingly out of nowhere, the National University has released a statement urging the population to return to using face masks due to a recent COVID-19 behavioral change. Now, it is unclear as to whether this is due to research made by their research team or an isolated outbreak within the university's population. The university did release a statement on Twitter, or do we call it X? So what's going to happen now? Now that Twitter is called X, do you tweet or do you X? I don't know. Anyhow, the university released a statement on Twitter, or X, with a title that says, "In relationship to the current COVID situation in Mexico and in the university." So it is possible that the student population got the bug and they're suffering from some isolated incident. Of course, as soon as this happened, Health Undersecretary and former future ex-husband Hugo Lopez Gatell came out with his own statement indicating that there is no cause for alarm at this time. He acknowledged that there has been a slight increment in cases, and that at present time there are only 19 people in the entire country hospitalized due to COVID, and that vaccination will resume in October. And that is something that we had already reported. When the flu vaccines for this season are made available, we are expected to get COVID vaccines back in availability. So I'm thinking I'm going to get vaccinated again just because. And maybe that would be a good idea for everyone or anyone who believes in vaccines and who thinks we want to stay one step ahead of COVID-19. But at present time, I don't think we have much to worry about. And I certainly hope that will be the case. Let us take a quick look at what Snarky Weather has to say about all this. And Snarky Weather begins with, oh, yes, rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. I am sad about that one. 30 degrees right now. Humidity is at 68%. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 86. Our weather forecast for today says thunderstorms, light winds, chance of precipitation 54%. That's what they said yesterday, and nothing happened. A high of 33 and a low of 26. Tomorrow, hump day, humid with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 33 and a low of 26. A chance of rain of 31%. And then Thursday, humid with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a chance of precipitation of 75%. A high of 33 and a low of 26. I don't know what to believe anymore. I will just believe it when I see it, or when I feel it. I want some rain. I'm sure you do too. What else do we have? Oh, yes. Yesterday we announced that Puerto Vallarta's latest sister city is McAllen. And one of you asked whether we had a sister city in Canada. Somebody else asked how many sister cities there are. So I went to do some research, and I couldn't find any specific answer. Like, there is not an official list. I did find the rules and regulations for having sister cities, but it did not include a list. However, I did come across this news item from 2021, which I am sure we brought up here at Coffee and Headlines. Back then, Tribuna de la Bahía informed that Puerto Vallarta had just adopted three new sister cities within Mexico and one in the United States. The three new sister cities in Mexico are Tequisquiapan in the state of Querétaro, Tecalitlan in the state of Jalisco, and Calvillo in the state of Aguascalientes. Needless to say, I keep track of these kinds of news, and I've never seen anything published about these sisterhoods, or we sending things or people or chingaderas over there, or vice versa. And the one from California was this place called Port Hunimi, Port Hunimi in California. And I vaguely remember that somebody might have commented at the time that Port H is barely a town. So there you have it. What exactly happens with these sister cities? Well, some are more active than others, and some, it'd be nice to knock on the door of City Hall and say, okay, so you adopted a new sister city. What happens next? Why knee me, says Pat Reese. Thank you very much. Anyhow, Sister Wainimi is missing in action from Puerto Vallarta, because even though that supposedly happened back in 2021, we haven't seen anything since. But that doesn't matter, because we have new PuRR Project news from Banderas News. They have published the latest news from the PuRR Project, a nonprofit no-kill feline shelter just north of Puerto Vallarta. If you're a kitty cat lover and would like to know more about what the organization has been up to, I will leave the link in the show notes. And speaking of links, I'm going to give you the feels with this one, or at least I'm going to try to give you the feels, because every now and then I notice when people start following Coffee and Headlines on Facebook, and whenever I see those kinds of notices, I'm always curious as to who people are that are following coffee and headlines or where they are located. And I noticed a new follower, and his name is Sean Hale. He is an Ottawa-based psychotherapist. I don't have the pleasure of knowing Sean, but when I went to look at his Facebook profile, there was a post that gave me the best feels, and I'm going to read it to you right now. It says, Summer sale on Amazon. When talking about adoption with our boys, we always wanted to highlight how special they are and also how much they were wanted. We didn't find many books with that message being the prominent one, while still answering the question, where did I come from? So this book was written with that goal in mind, while also answering some of the questions that come up around the process. It is so important for adopted kids to understand their own history while also knowing that they are perfect just the way they are. So Sean Hale is not only a psychotherapist, he is a published author. He and another gentleman by the name of Scott Howcroft have published this book called I'm Adopted, A Positive Explanation of Adoption. And I thought that was absolutely awesome. So we don't know exactly how much time Sean spends in Puerto Vallarta. I suspect he does come to visit because he seems to have an Airbnb in town, but now I'm just being nosy. The bottom line is I thought this was such an awesome thing, and it gave me the feels, and I wanted to share that with you because, as I've mentioned before, I'm always interested I'm always eager to learn what keeps you busy wherever you are, and writing a book about adoption I think is just great, particularly when the author is a gay parent. So I'll leave the link to this wonderful book in Amazon in case you have someone in your gift list that could benefit from reading it. And last but not least, before we dive into our comments, I'm looking forward to seeing some of you this afternoon at our summer meet and greet from 6 to 8 at Gina Hendrix's wonderful Whiskey Kitchen. It'll be hot, it'll be schwitzy, but it'll be wonderful. I hope you can be there. We'll try to do a little bit of a live broadcast while we're there just so that you can get a sense as to what's going on. And but I sure hope that many of you will be able to join us this afternoon, 6 to 8 at Whiskey Kitchen. And now we turn over to your comments just to see what we have. Lots of good mornings, and I appreciate that. Purim pam pum pim pum. Param pam pam. More good mornings. More good mornings. Yay! Claude and Lucas have electricity back. That is excellent news. Parim pam 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 pam. What? It has been storming like the Dickens. Like the Dickens. You mean the published author? I don't understand that phrase. Storming like the Dickens. It almost sounds dirty. I love it. Storming like the Dickens. Interesting. I'm going to Google that one when I get done with the broadcast. Storming like the Dickens. Love it. Let's see what else we have. Storming like the Dickens. My goodness, all these idioms. So much to learn. Paula says we are weed legal today in Minnesota. We are not quite weed legal here in Mexico, but I'm still gonna puff in your honor. Thank you. Let's see what else we have. Purim pum pum, purum pum 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 pum. Oh, Christoph, you better be back, and you better be back with Swiss wine. I love it. I love it. Let's see what else we have. Harold reports from Guadalajara. It rained last night. I've been reading a lot about rain in huge amounts from our capital city. Let's see what else. Boom, pididum, boom, boom. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Lots of conversations. Amiga Luisa says Dora the Explorer when it comes to tropical storm. I love it. Bum bum ba dum bum bum. Harold asks, will many people exit from Twitter? That's a good one. I never use my Twitter accounts. Gary says Tequisquiapan has the best wine and cheese. We can send them tequila and they can send us wine and cheese. I think that's a great idea. Barbara chimes in on PuRR Project, a wonderful organization. We visited there some years ago and our friends adopted an adorable kitten. She is a princess. By visiting there, I'm sure that Barbara is referring to the sanctuary, which is a little bit challenging to get. I don't know if they still have tours, but I do think they have adoptions at not La Comer, but the pet store that is right next to La Comer. I think they have adoptions there on weekends. Not entirely certain. Let's see what else. Then I see comments about the book. Isn't that amazing? I hope if he is watching, if he is reading, I hope he will know that we sent a little bit of love to our new friend Sean. Excellent. And thank you for following Coffee and Headlines, Sean. Let's see what else we have. Beam, 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 beam. Oh, okay. Chris says, no hangovers tomorrow. Well, I'll try to promise that. I cannot make any guarantees. Brandy, it was so much fun to say hello to you and take photographs together at the last meet and greet. It's great to see you, and it's great to read you. Oh, really? Hello, Paco. You have met Sean and Scott at Whiskey Kitchen. We all moved here last August from Canada. Scott had the crochet shirt you admired. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, my goodness. I love it. Now I remember that. That is a great connection. Thank you very much for that. Purim pam pum pam pum. Yes, Pee Wee lost his life to cancer. He left behind a beautiful note to the effect that he had been struggling with it secretly for quite a few years, and he even apologized for keeping it secret, and then he thanked everyone. He was such an icon when I was growing up. When I was a college student, actually, watching Pee Wee's Playhouse was a must. Please, everyone in Puerto Vallarta, keep your eyes open for the... What? No. Keep your eyes open for the scumbag that stole Cassandra Shaw's dog. See her Facebook page for more info. Oh, that is horrible. That is sad, sad news. Please, everybody, send Cassandra Shaw some positive, good vibes. Because stealing someone's dog, that is just not nice. Damn. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our broadcast for today. It's 5 to 11. Time to wrap it up. I hope to see some of you this afternoon. And if not this afternoon, I hope to see some of you sometime in the near future. Please stay kind, stay well-spirited, crochet something, knit something, hug someone, cook something, and have a great day. I'll see you soon.